Hello, I'm Sara Geiger, executive speaking consultant and opera singer, and today I want to share with you a very helpful forecasting tool that you can use to determine why your career feels like it's sticking, slowed down, and altogether sluggish, especially when it comes to gaining a meaningful promotion into a leadership role. So if that sounds like you, if you feel like no one notices your capacity, expertise, and competence to potentially step up into a promotion or take care of a team, stay tuned and let's get into it. When it comes to navigating our career path, especially within a corporate organization or a hierarchical organization, it can be very difficult to determine what steps are needed to get to the top. So if you're an ambitious, career-minded professional, this episode is for you. I want to share with you what I call the Career Ascension trifecta. So in my work as an executive speaking consultant, I often meet people who have incredible profiles and resumes and academic backgrounds. And for some reason, well, I know why, I'll tell you soon, they're stuck. No one's noticing their potential. Their colleagues who may have less skill, competence, or even work ethic may be promoted above them. And for some reason, it can be really confusing for a lot of clients that I meet as to why they were never given a chance to ascend into a promotion, a leadership role, or even to get the pay that their qualifications and credibility deserves. So what we want to look at is the Career Ascension trifecta. It's composed of three core components: your expertise, your experience, and the third component that most people overlook, your communication. So when we go for a role, because of the nature of application procedures or even internal hiring, we obviously have this urge and pressure to demonstrate that we've got the expertise, which proves or sets up our competence potential to be considered for the position. We also consider things like our experience, how long we've been in the industry, maybe how loyal and trustworthy we've been as an employee to feel like we deserve the promotion. And in doing this, the candidate is likely to just get stuck on considering if they don't advance, that it comes down to their expertise, because naturally you might think, well, someone was more qualified, more competent, they've got an MBA and I don't, or they've got this like nice profile that's shinier than mine. And you can get held back by getting stuck on this idea and thinking that you've got to do more to amp up your expertise. And this is where a lot of professionals would go off and do further study, which is valid and will always be helpful, but may not actually unlock the next step in the career success game. So we have a lot of people doing their MBAs, they're checking the marketing materials and glossy programs for programs and investing a lot of money, personal time, their free time, their time with their family to complete an additional qualification. And the irony is, this individual with additional qualifications will still get stuck. The next component of the Career Ascension trifecta is experience. So a lot of people would believe that, if they get more experience, they're going to have more success. This is where we can see a lot of people in corporate feeling incredibly jaded, who have been in an organization or a department for an extensive period of time, and a newbie arrives and all of a sudden they're promoted. And this person who's been waiting maybe for a decade to actually get noticed is questioning, well, I've got the experience, I've got the history, I've got the track record, I've got proof of my work. Why wasn't I given a chance? So if that's you and you're feeling stuck, you have to consider the third element that's often overlooked in the trifecta, and that is communication. So leadership potential is composed of an employee's capacity to showcase through their communication, their expertise and experience. So if you have sufficient expertise, sufficient experience, but you're not able to communicate and showcase that in a way that catches attention, that shows your competitive advantage and the value offer that the company is willing to invest more pay in and more responsibility to, you will not ascend, my friend. So let's consider this. Communication is the tool in the trifecta that allows you to showcase your expertise. If you fail to communicate in a manner that showcases, your expertise will go unnoticed. You'll be doing silent representation and it just simply won't be seen. If you fail to communicate with niche tools that showcase your experience, it also will be overlooked. Let's now consider what happens with exceptional communicators in the workplace. Well, they're great showcases. And this is why you might see colleagues at the same level as you in your organization with less expertise and potentially even less experience storm on ahead of you, get promoted, rise to the C-suite. Why? Because they're excellent showcases, and communication showcasing is what sends out the signal for leadership potential. Now, this is not about your personality. You don't need to change your personality. What you need is niche tools for this particular activity, which is very different from working with competent expertise and building up your experience. Communication showcasing is the vital element of the Career Ascension trifecta. So now we can get a formula. Leadership potential, which is your signaling device that catches attention and makes the opportunity to step up your role for an organization salient and interesting and inviting. Leadership potential is determined by your communication and the way in which you use it to showcase your expertise and your experience. I have a blog post on this over on my website. I'm going to link it in the comments below. You should check it out if you want to pick up more tools. You should also sign up for my leadership class, which is a communication class for emerging leaders who are struggling to showcase their leadership potential, to pick up more insight into the tools that you may be overlooking. And finally, if you're feeling stuck and you know that it's your communication, you need to get specific and thorough. So I would strongly recommend considering taking my high-performance communication audit, which will leave no stone unturned and help us get down to what exactly it is that your communication needs to build up your showcasing skills so that your leadership potential is noticed. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to click thumbs up, share it with a colleague who's also feeling stuck potentially, and do subscribe to the channel if you'd like to keep up to date with Career Ascension strategies, research-backed speaking tools that you can use to amplify your professional success, comfort, and confidence at work. Ciao for now. How do professionals achieve effective communication at work? The quick and easy way. You can only learn to speak confidently with anyone, anywhere, if you have the tools to transform your speaking logic and habits. And the High Performance Communication Audit shows you how. This science-based communication service helps you speak with more clarity, charisma, and confidence. Join today over on my website.